my view. Okay, my name is Candace, and I want to just welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you so much for coming to our natural wellness workshop. We are so excited to have you guys here. We really appreciate your time. So here's, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself first. So my name is Candace. I am a scientist turned ranch wife. So that's kind of different, but it's a life I love, and I really became interested in essential oils in about 2015. That's when I was introduced to them. I really got into the science of it because I am a science nerd at heart. And I have just had a lot of really great experiences using the oils and the supplements. And so that's where I'm coming from tonight to help teach this workshop. Now, here's kind of how this workshop's going to go. It's going to be really helpful for you to have a pen and paper ready so that you can take some notes and write down any questions you might have, because at the end of our presentation tonight, we're going to ask that you go back to whoever invited you to this workshop and then ask them to answer those questions for you. So we really love to honor your time, and this workshop is going to be about an hour long. So you'll want to stay to the end, though, because if you stay to the end, there's going to be a prize drawing. And there's some really, really great gifts at the end for that prize drawing. It will be super helpful for you. We're going to be using that chat feature throughout this workshop. So let's warm it up. Let's start by clicking on that chat button and telling us where you're from. So I told you I'm a ranch wife, and so I have to tell you a little story because it is miserable here. The weather we had kind of a second little spring, and then it just turned right back to winter. We had a bunch of snow last night, Oklahoma City, awesome. And today, for some reason, my boss insisted we had to go move cows in the wind and the snow. So it was a fun afternoon, let me tell you. So let's know what's the weather doing in your guys' part of the country. It looks like we have Colorado and California, but it's nice in California, huh, Ani? All right, can we move on to that next slide, Julie? Okay, now we always want our workshops to be personal and really helpful for you. So let's start with a personal assessment for you and or your family. And so we'd like you to kind of, in the chat again, what would you like to address for your health? So we're going to use the numbers corresponding to these pictures here. So the first one is digestive issues. Number 2 would be headache, pain, and inflammation. Number 3 would be immunity issues. Number 4 would be stress and anxiety. Number 5, energy and stamina. Number 6, sleep. Anybody have issues with sleep? And number 7, blood sugar regulation. So these are all kind of really common areas where people seem to struggle. So we have 5s and 2, energy, stamina, 2 again, 7. So we're kind of all over the map. So we can address some of those as we go on. I think you'll really be excited at some of the options you'll have to take care of those root issues for your health. Okay, so let's move on to this next slide, which is, as you can see, is kind of comparing our modern approach to medicine versus a natural approach to medicine. So we're going to look at those two different approaches. But before we do, I want to share a few studies with you. So the FDA estimates that 200,000 Americans are hospitalized every year because of overdoses and side effects of NSAIDs. Now, those are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, things that you know as Advil, ibuprofen, aspirin. They're all the cause, and they are also the cause of thousands of deaths per year. That shocks me. And even Tylenol, which is acetaminophen, is known to cause liver damage if used in excess. I mean, I've used it in excess as anybody else. And if you would like any of these supporting studies, let your wellness advocate know, and they are happy to supply those studies for you. So I share this info because it really reflects our modern approach to medicine. So in the modern approach, we turn to pills and prescriptions as a primary solution to address physical problems and symptoms. These can have really dangerous side effects and even risk of addiction. So because this approach often focuses on symptoms, root causes can often get overlooked. In addition, we're looking at 6.5 trillion, that's with a T, spent each year on global healthcare. But my question is, are we really any healthier? Now let's check out that natural approach. In that approach, we focus on the root causes and use a plant-based approach because our body recognizes plant sources. Okay, so what actually creates disease in the body? We have three main factors that cause disease. One is nutrient deficiency, one is inflammation, and one is toxic overload. So we're going to go into each one of these in depth now. Nutrition is the core of our immune function. When our nutrition buckets in our body are filled, then we function optimally with energy, clarity of thinking, good mood, great sleep, and little to no inflammation. But according to the Environmental Working Group, who put this chart together that you see, 95% of US adults are deficient in vitamin D, 94% are deficient in vitamin E, 61% are deficient in magnesium. So the nutrition buckets in our body, they're not full. And that means most of us do not have a great baseline health. The result of nutrient deficiency varies by body, but I'll list a few for you. Things like inflammation, headaches, lack of sleep, foggy thinking, lack of energy, and digestive issues. And poor nutrition is the #1 cause of poor health. So really think about that one. That's a shocking statement to me right there. So let's move on to inflammation. What causes inflammation? Well, the biggest contributors are sugar. Sugar is in everything we consume. If you are a label reader like I am, you will find sugar in absolutely everything we purchase in the store, any kind of processed food. Stress and lack of sleep causes inflammation, the toxins in our environment just around us, and bad oils like canola and vegetable oils. Chronic inflammation is linked to diseases like autoimmune diseases, cardiovascular problems, gastrointestinal disorders, headaches, metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes, lung diseases like asthma, and mental illnesses like depression and joint pain. So let's look at the toxic load in our bodies. And it's the third area we're looking at as a source for disease. And it refers to chemicals in our body that build up from our environment, using processed foods, pesticide use, and personal care products, things like our lotions and our makeup. The Product Safety Commission tested and found 150 cleaning chemicals that are linked to things like ADD, asthma, cancer, reproductive problems, respiratory problems, and more. We can't always control what we come into contact with outside the home, but we can make smarter choices in our homes. So how do we do all of this? This is the question. And I don't think Jules has popped on. Do you guys know, does anybody know if Jules popped on?
I'm here, Candace. I just got on.
Awesome. Well, I am going to turn this next part then over to my friend Jules, and she's going to tell us about some supplements.
Thanks, Candace. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody. I'm Jules. For those of you who don't know me, I didn't think I was going to be able to get on. My internet was being really weird. And I thought, oh, no, because I wanted to talk to you guys about this. So I've been in the wellness industry since I was in my early 20s, and I'm in my 60s now. So it's been a really long time that I've been in the natural wellness industry. And this part, what we're going to go through next, my favorite thing to talk about because it's all about foundational wellness. And this is how we start to build a really strong foundation of wellness. So before we jump into the next solution that we want to talk about here, I want to ask you to jump into the chat. Those of you who are on here, jump into the chat and just let me know how many of you currently take or have taken vitamins, supplements, whatever. Just drop it in the chat if you have, and if you're currently taking something, drop that in the chat too, just to get a kind of a picture of where everybody is as far as supplementation goes. Leslie, yep, LLV, I love it. Standard processed vitamins, okay. Karen, you take them? Good, lots. Yeah, it's kind of how I am. It'd be way too many to list right here quickly in the chat. Lifelong Vitality. Okay, so it looks like Julie used to take one a day. Yep, me too, Julie. That's where I started. So it looks like everybody is taking something, and lots of you are taking Lifelong Vitality, which to that, I will say, hats off to you. That's a great choice. It's an excellent choice. So let's take a look. Part of the reason that I asked you that is because we're going to take a look, a little peek at the supplement industry. So if you look at this slide that's up, it says 776 dietary supplements there on the left-hand side, and it says contaminated. That is based on a study from the FDA that they ran from 2007 to 2016. And they did that randomly, but they found contaminants in 776 dietary supplements produced by 146 different companies. So that means that all of those were on the shelf and may still be because it's not a real regulated industry. So another one of their studies that they did showed us that of the top 3 leading memory supplements on the marketplace, they found that 2 of them did not even have the active ingredient that they'd listed on the label, wasn't even in the supplements. And like I just said, it's not a really highly regulated industry. So products can contain lots of fillers, lots of additives, lots of things just to make it look better, if you will. And they don't really work. Some of them don't even have, as is evidenced by these studies, the active ingredients that they're supposed to have. So if you have ever wondered why you're taking a vitamin and you don't really notice any difference, this could well be it. I'm going to share a study or a story from a wellness advocate. I don't personally know this wellness advocate, but this is a story that goes into testimonial groups that we go into. And this wellness advocate, her son worked in a supplement store, like a GNC or something like that. I don't know the store, but that's, picture that. And what he told her was that if they get notified, the store owner, manager, whatever, gets notified that a supplement needs to be pulled from the shelves because it doesn't have the right things in it, doesn't have the things that the label said, that store owner has 9 months to pull that from its shelf. So they're doing that. So those people, those store owners aren't out the money. But if you or I walk in there to buy that supplement today, it may be one that should have been pulled off the shelf, but they have 9 months to do that. And so we're spending money on a supplement that isn't going to do anything. So keep that in the back of your mind too, if you're ever wondering why your supplements just don't seem to be helping with anything at all. Okay, because our standard American diet is really deficient in most vitamins and nutrients, I think it's really necessary. My personal opinion is that it's really necessary for us to supplement, because that's what's going to fill in the gaps of that poor diet or of that not so great diet. It may not be really ranked as a poor one, but we're going to fill in the gaps when we supplement. So let's make sure that we're using safe and effective supplements and that we can actually uptake and utilize. So let's talk about that next health solution. Lifelong Vitality is doTERRA's #1 selling product. And this is known, doTERRA is known for its safe and effective essential oils. And we know that they're heavily tested and all the things, literally from the vine or the picking of that essential oil to the bottle. But this #1 selling line is goes under the same rigorous testing. And this is our best selling product. This is everything that we need to build that foundation of our health house. Think of this line as your basis to your Jenga tower. Your body is your Jenga tower. And this line is going to help you fill in those gaps. It's going to help you filter out toxins. It's going to help your body to cleanse things, because that's what your body does every night. Your body goes through a cleansing process. These supplements will help your body do all of those things. There are 3 supplements in the line. You see them on the slide right here. There's a food nutrient, a cellular repair, and there's also omegas here. This line is the micronutrient line. You've probably heard some of that, micronutrient, macronutrient. This is a micronutrient line, and it fills those nutrient buckets that Candace was talking about a few minutes ago. It's going to help fill those nutrient buckets up in your body. There are powerful antioxidants in here that help protect our DNA. They're made with whole food ingredients, and they're 95% bioavailable for our body. So the average supplement, those that you would pick up off of your local store, those have about a 20 to 30% bioavailability on the average. But Lifelong Vitality is 95% bioavailable. So what's on the label, you're going to get. Your body's going to know what to do with it. It's going to be able to absorb it, and you're going to be able to get all the benefits of it. This product has really been an important way, an important tool for people to add to their supplement line or supplement regime. And it's really helped a lot of people get off some over-the-counter and even some prescription drugs, more than any other product that doTERRA sells. So I have some Lifelong Vitality testimonials myself that are really good in a lot of ways, because I've been taking supplements for a long time, but they aren't one of those, my testimonials aren't one of those that blow everything out of the water or really surprise you. But I know that Candace has a really great testimonial about Lifelong Vitality, and I would love for her to share that, because when I first heard it, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't deal with what Candace is talking about, but if I did, I would definitely want to hear the story. So Candace, if you would share that story, that would be awesome.
Sure, I'd love to. First, let me just say, this is, out of all the products that doTERRA carries, this Lifelong Vitality supplement is absolutely my favorite, because it really truly changed my life in more ways than one. I have massive energy. Like I said, I'm a ranch wife. I went out riding today. I actually fell down too and didn't, hurt any bones or anything. So so I just absolutely love this vitamin supplement. I mean, it's better than anything I've ever tried before. So, but my real story is I used to suffer from really bad head tension. And I mean the kind where I was unable to function. I was curled up in a ball. My head just pounded so hard and it just hurt so bad. I just absolutely couldn't even get through the day. So I got prescription medication, and it really, really did help me. I was able to function. I could, cook for my family and, go do all the things. But I called it my zombie medication because it came with side effects. And those side effects were massive brain fog. Like I just didn't feel like I was really all there. So along came Lifelong Vitality. And a friend recommended it to me. At the time, I didn't even know doTERRA had supplements, and I'd been using the oils for quite some time. So I started taking Lifelong Vitality, and I didn't even really realize for a long time, other than my increased energy and just how I just felt really good. And I started 6 or 8 months down the road, kind of realizing that I wasn't having that massive head tension like I was, not near as frequently. And by the time I went in for my yearly annual checkup, I realized that I no longer had that issue. It was just gone. And so I didn't even have to renew my prescription medication. So that's my story with Lifelong Vitality. I can't say that's going to happen for everyone, but that was my journey. And like I said, it completely changed my life. And I just feel fabulous today.
That's awesome, Candace. Thanks so much for sharing that. Like I said, and the reason I want her to share that every time I teach this class, if Candace is on here, is because to me, if I had that issue, I'd want a solution like this. And so Candace, thank you again for sharing that. I appreciate it. Okay, so this next slide, oops, oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the one I thought we were on. This next slide is about some clinical trials that were based on blood work taken before and after subjects started taking doTERRA's lifelong vitality supplements. They took them for 2 months while they continued with their normal diet and exercise routines. They didn't change anything except that they added lifelong vitality to it. So what they saw across the board was statistically significant improvement with blood lipids, fasting insulin, cardiovascular biomarkers, reduced triglyceride levels in the blood, and cellular inflammation. They saw all of those go down, like in a really measurable way. And then they also saw positive effects on just overall cardiovascular health. They saw positive effects with antioxidants. They saw positive effects with overall inflammation in the body, and then also with blood glucose regulation. And then the subjects that were in this trial also noted that they had more mental clarity, they had way more energy, they had way more motivation to get up and get things done. They had way more self-control over their mood and their emotions, and they just felt overall more balanced and happier. And I think Candace would probably say the same thing based on that testimonial that she just shared, but I will tell you, I consider lifelong vitality, James and I consider this really part of our food budget. It goes into what we're going to spend every month anyway. And so we buy the best because it really is the best and our bodies get the best benefit of it. And if you factor it all out, it's less than a cup of coffee at your favorite coffee place. So I don't know about you, but I personally think that my overall wellness and my foundational wellness, that strength that I am building this body on, I think it's worth the price of that, less than that price of that cup of coffee every single day. And if you really start to learn how you can use your account with doTERRA, then you can also purchase this and then use the points that you receive to get other products for free. And that's a whole other conversation, but just know that you can make this work in your benefit in another way as well. So the next thing that we'll talk about when we're talking about foundational wellness will be our gut biome. So we have to have a healthy gut biome. Unless you've been somewhere living underneath a rock, you know you've heard about the gut being our second brain. And so these are 2 products that we want to focus on specifically to go along with your lifelong vitality, and that is the PB Restore and TerraZyme. These would be the 2 highest recommendations to add on to your lifelong vitality. The gut overall plays a really, really important role in our overall health and well-being. It's vital in everything from our weight to our immune function to just overall mental wellness. The PB Restore complex is patented dual chambered capsule. If I had one of them here, I'd hold it up to you, but you can see that it's in 2 different parts in a capsule, and they break down differently in the body so that we get the most benefit of it. It's a unique formulation of 30 pre, pro, and postbiotics that will help to restore that microbial diversity in our guts. And that is going to help us balance for optimal microbiome health. With that dual encapsulation delivery system, it protects it as it goes, those sensitive probiotic cultures, as they go through that digestion process, as they go through our gut and into our intestines. That dual chambered capsule is key to the delivery of it. So we get 18 billion colony forming units. That's called a CFU. That's all good bacteria, and it consists of 24 different cultures. There's an unparalleled variety of selected strains from 22 different so we get, oh my gosh, so we get better microbiome diversity. Sorry about that, you guys. Maintains healthy intestinal microflora balance, supports optimal metabolism, Also helps us with food absorption and to get the most out of our food. And in simple terms, I think what I would like to have you put in your brains about this so that you really understand it. It just, when we have a healthy microbiome, when our gut is good and we have all the good bacteria in there, the bad bacteria has a much harder time doing its dirty work. We're just going to feel better overall. And so to pair with this, let's talk about TerraZyme. And that's on the right-hand side of your screen there. TerraZyme is doTERRA's digestive enzyme. This includes whole food enzymes that help with digestion. It can be taken with every single meal. It can also be taken at night before you go to bed and in the morning when you wake up, just to help your body work optimally. It supports healthy digestion. It helps our metabolism as well. And it helps the conversion of food nutrients to actual cellular energy, so that right at that cellular level, we're getting some fuel to our cells. And if our cells are happier, our whole body is going to be happier. And it also helps any kind of gastrointestinal discomfort. It's going to help ease that. And it's going to help you tolerate foods that maybe you couldn't tolerate before. And there are 10 active whole food enzymes in every TerraZyme. So I even give this to my little Italian Greyhound dogs. They get 1/3 of a capsule every day in their food because it really helps them get the most out of the food that they're eating as well. Okay, we're going to jump back into the chat really quickly. So I would like to ask each of you that are on here to take a look at that question that's on the top part of this slide, the first question. And I want you to drop in the chat what you think the answer is. What percentage have diabetes cases increased in America since 1960? So just drop that in the chat if you have some guesses for me. I think you'll be surprised when I share the number with you. 30, okay. 50%, okay. 20%, 200%, getting closer. So the answer is almost 700%, which just blows my mind because I was born in 1960. And when I think of in my lifetime, diabetes, the cases of diabetes has increased 700%. I just can't even hardly wrap my brain around that. And I think probably a lot of us could think about that when we were little kids. Did we know anyone who was on insulin or, had to have really watch that? I didn't know anybody like that growing up. Okay, so the next question, let's jump into the chat on this one too. How long does it take the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors did 200 years ago? So again, how long does it take the average American to consume the amount of sugar that our ancestors did 200 years ago? Any year's time. We got a 1 week, perfect. These are great guesses. These are good guesses. Okay, so the answer is 2 weeks. So what used to take 365 days now takes 14. And that goes back to what Candace was saying about if we're eating processed foods and you're a label reader, you're going to see that there is sugar in almost everything you put your hand on and pull off the shelf. It's crazy. 14 days is how long it takes. And it used to take our ancestors 365. Okay, so what does the big 6.8% there in blue, what does that mean? This is a study that was done just recently too, and the end result of this study showed that only 6.8% of our population has optimal cardiometabolic health. And that's how well our metabolism is working from the cellular level. And metabolism encompasses a lot of things, but only 6.8% of us in this study that they did have optimal metabolic health. So that means that 93% of us are walking around suboptimal. And I don't know about you, but I want to feel better. I just want to feel better in my body. So let's look at the MetaPower system. I love this system. Candace said that her favorite product was the Lifelong Vitality. And I love the Lifelong Vitality, make no mistake. I take it every single day. But this is probably my favorite product line. And it definitely has my favorite product within this line. This was specifically designed to tackle poor cardiometabolic health. This was designed to help that 93% of us who are living suboptimally. This is the macronutrient line, and it pairs beautifully with Lifelong Vitality, which is the micronutrient line. The MetaPower line does three things for us. It addresses cellular repair that leads to aging. It addresses blood sugar regulation, and it supports the inhibiting of fat absorption into the cells. So let's talk about lifespan versus health span. We can't do anything about our chronological age, but we can do something about our metabolic age. The average American will spend the last 14 years of our lives in a state of declining health and difficulty completing everyday tasks. But what if we could be empowered to change that? What if we really could feel better in our body and age better in our bodies? And that's what the MetaPower system does for us. This is the first and only system that synergistically supports a healthy metabolism, curbs our cravings, sustains normal range glycemic and insulin response evenly throughout the day, and it naturally promotes cellular aging. Those of us who have been using this line show improvements in so many ways, from eyesight to just having more energy, to less pain, less neuropathy, better sleep, better skin, better hair, better nails, improvement in our mood, overall mood. And we also find that we have better mobility, the joints are working a little bit better, and we're feeling a little stronger in our body. This actually helps the body maintain and build lean muscle mass. And that's really, really important as we age. So let's look at this next slide here. And you can see that there are three different sets of pictures. So I'm going to call your attention to the top left. And let's look at that comparison of pictures there. The young lady in that shot has been using MetaPower for 4 months at that time. And she had pretty amazing results. It's pretty obvious when you look at her, but she said she noticed improvements in her skin, her face, her eyes, and her hair. And then if we look just below her, we see a gentleman, and he said he noticed improved skin elasticity, and he noticed that his hair was coming in darker, and you can see it from that picture. And I actually have a customer client that said the same thing to me. He said when he went and got his haircut after he'd been on MetaPower for a couple of months, his stylist said, I don't know what you're doing, but your hair's darker than it has been. So that's something that this gentleman noticed as well. But here's the best part about this, I think. He got his blood work taken after just 3 weeks of taking the MetaPower system and using it. And he had a 40-point decrease in cholesterol. He had a 25-point decrease in LDLs. And he also saw a 57-point decrease in his triglycerides. That's pretty powerful. So if you look at the right-hand side of your screen and you see the picture of an arm, that's the same woman. And that's the difference on her arm. On the right side, she's a 50-year-old lady, and she had these red spots on her arms. And I know that most of us have seen that on our parents or aging grandparents, but we've seen these red spots that show up. Anytime this lady bumped herself, she would get those. She had her doctor look at them. They checked her all out. And the bottom line was that's just part of the aging process. That's just what's happening to you. So she started using MetaPower. And after just 3 months, the spots were almost completely gone. And she's not getting them like that first picture anymore. She's also seen other changes. She had weight loss. She lost 60 pounds. And she says she has thicker hair, better nails. They're growing like crazy. And probably best of all, besides the 60 pounds, but it goes along with that, she had lowered her A1C as well. Pretty powerful stories. So now we're going to talk about, I told you this was probably my favorite line. This is my favorite product in this line. And now we have 2 flavors of it, and I'm super excited about that. I actually really liked this first flavor that we were introduced to, but now we have two to choose from, and I love them both. So super excited about it. This is doTERRA's MetaPower Advantage, and this is doTERRA's collagen. This is unlike anything else on the marketplace. And this product has over 9 types, or has 9 types of collagen in it. And it has those collagen are in tripeptide form. 70% of them are in tripeptide form. So our body is going to absorb those tripeptides of collagen about 12 times more than other collagens. So just a little science lesson. A peptide is a large protein chain. And tripeptide just simply means that chain has been broken down into smaller pieces, and that accounts for the better absorbability of it. So those larger peptide chains can be too big for our body to break down and get, the most benefit out of. But when we break them down, then we can use it to the full benefit. So Advantage comes in single little packets like you see there kind of on the right-hand side of your screen. You mix it in 4 to 6 ounces of water. You just mix it up and you down it. It's best when you mix it with cold or cool water. You can actually put ice in it if you want, but it's such a little amount. You're just going to down it, and you want to do it on an empty stomach. What does MetaPower Advantage do for you? It really does promote healthy biological aging, and it improves our health span by helping those aging cells. It also activates our longevity genes. It improves cognitive function. Our brains just work better. We're sharper when they get that fuel that they need. It helps to support lean muscle and our connective tissue, and it improves our skin density. It improves the elasticity, and it also improves the firmness. Besides the hair growth that we see, our nails, all of those other things, these are just the highlights of what MetaPower Advantage does. But this is an incredible, incredible product. So I'm going to share my testimonial, and then I'm going to read one that I pulled out of our MetaPower testimonial group just today as I was preparing for this class. So the first one that I want to share with you is mine, and that is simply that I have dealt with some autoimmune challenges since 1998. Plus, I've lived a really, really active and physical lifestyle. My work was really physical. Plus, I was just, as an athlete, I was just very physical. So I've asked a lot of my body over the years. There's been a lot of pounding on my joints. There's been just a lot of work on my joints and on my overall structure, if you will. And coupled with the autoimmune disease, I've had some real inflammatory process issues where I just had too much inflammation in my body, and I was really hurting all the time. And the older I got, the more I hurt. And I just kept thinking, my dad lived to be 103. Gosh, if I'm feeling like this in my 50s and 60s, what's my life going to be like if I have that longevity gene that he had? And so I've been looking at different collagens and biohacking with them for a lot of years. So when doTERRA came out with this, I was super excited. I started it on September 15th, 2022. I've not missed a day of it since then. There have been days that I've doubled up on it as well. But I will tell you, the inflammation, the inflammatory process in my body is exponentially better than it was September 15th, 2022 and before that. It just was life-changing for me, absolutely life-changing for me. So that's my testimony about Advantage, and that's why I will never stop taking it. I think this product is just cutting edge. I don't know that there is a more cutting edge product, in my opinion. So now I'm going to read you one that I pulled off. Actually, I read 2 of them for you. And I'm not going to name names, but I pulled these off of our MetaPower testimonial page. First one said she'd been taking it for a year. She was down 48 pounds. All the skin rashes that she was getting are completely gone. And she says her energy is off the charts high. She can do anything that she wants to do, and she always has the energy for it. So that was the first little one that I pulled off of there. The second one said that she's been taking it for a year. And she said, I had the best annual checkup that I've had in 25 years. My cholesterol was in the normal range. My liver and kidney function was in the normal range. My A1C went down from 9.1 in June of 2023 It went down from 9.1 in June to 7.6 when she had this done. And I didn't look at the date, but I think it was December when I saw it. So in 6 months' time. And then her weight was down to, she had dropped 45 pounds. So this MetaPower line is not a weight loss product. I want everyone to really understand that. But what it does supports our body in so many ways that there are a lot of people that do see weight loss, but that's not what it's about. This is about helping you feel better in your body. That's what this system is about. And it's about helping you age more gracefully from the inside out. Okay, that's what I have for you tonight. So I'm going to introduce my friend Diane, and she is going to talk to us about some studies and about our essential oil. So Diane, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jules. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Diane Mattern, and I've been with doTERRA for about almost 8 years. How many of you are so excited to have heard all the wonderful information about our supplements? And like was said in the beginning, is a lot of people didn't even know we had supplements. It was the oils were always the crown jewel, but actually I think we need to reverse that and say that nope, our supplements are the crown jewel, and our oils are there just as a supporting cast. So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about some research. And again, if you want more information on these particular studies, you can ask your wellness advocate or whoever invited you tonight. All right, so there was a study done by Roseman University of Health Sciences, and this is an independent study. And what they found was that doTERRA essential oils were therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation. In addition, they found that there was benefit to our metabolic health and helped with a healthy inflammatory response in our bodies. So essential oils come from different, essential oils from different competitors have minimal effects. They concluded that the therapeutic potential of doTERRA's essential oils is highly dependent on the complete composition of the oil. In other words, where it comes from, where it's produced, where it's processed, all those things are critical. And there's 2 separate articles and that the Roseman University has done. And again, if you want that information, let someone know so we can get that to you. But why is doTERRA different? We know it's different. When an oil is truly pure, they do not contain fillers, no synthetics, no dilution, just pure essential oils. And you can be guaranteed that when you purchase a bottle of doTERRA essential oils, every single drop of that oil is pure, unadulterated essential oil. Independent lab tests have shown that the majority of brands available to consumers are not pure. So doTERRA sources their oils from plants that are grown in their ideal environments. We go to the source. This makes all the difference for the chemical profile and the therapeutic effectiveness of those oils. Every single batch of doTERRA's essential oils is tested for ideal chemistry and consistency. So we're guaranteed that our oils are going to do what we expect them to do. There's just no question about it. There's over 54 states. Sorry, I have just messed this one up. There are over 54 tests that are done on each batch of doTERRA essential oils from the farmer to the consumer. And our oils can be used topically, aromatically, and generally they can be used internally. Make sure that you're taking the time to learn as much as you can about which essential oils can be used internally so that you're getting the best results that you need. All right, so people turn to doTERRA. Why? Because they're safe, they're affordable, and we get effective solutions for our family's health. And so let's take a look at what that really means. All right, so on the slide here, We know that if we're taking an essential oil that is not 100% sure, percent pure, I am really just messing this up tonight. Sorry, guys. I'm just not on my A game. All right. But there could be dangerous side effects or even the risk of addiction. So we just mentioned independent lab tests, and those show that 80 to 90% of oils on the market, 80 to 90%, have contaminants and synthetic markers. We suggest never ingesting another brand. So many years ago, doTERRA recognized that the essential oil industry didn't have a standard for purity that ensured that safety. They created a new standard called CPTG. This stands for Certified Pure Tested Grade. And they did that to raise the bar throughout the essential oil industry. And this is beyond organic. It includes significant testing that is not cheap. And doTERRA did that because they will invest to ensure that we have the most effective and the safest products, because that's what's best for us. Many doTERRA oils are safe to be ingested, as I mentioned, but make sure that it has a food grade label, food grade stamp on the label. All right, so let's take a look at the picture on the right. You'll see some little girls. And what happened was that these two little girls, these two sisters, they were spending the night with grandma at grandma's house. Now, they were used to putting doTERRA's lavender on them to help them relax before bed. They would put it on their chests and the bottom of their feet. And grandma was out of her doTERRA lavender. So she used a backup that she found in her cupboard. She thought, oh, it's lavender, it should work, right? Well, the girls ended up with chemical burns with scars almost a year later. Now, I'm not saying that this will be your reaction with other essential oils. However, it's important that you understand the risks that are involved. doTERRA oils are safe to use on any age, from newborn babies to great grandma. Brand matters for safety, and that's why we choose doTERRA. Okay, let's talk about its affordability and its effectiveness. Believe it or not, one of the reasons people turn to doTERRA is because our essential oils are 50 to 70 times more potent than herbs. This means that a little tiny bit goes a long way, and I want to illustrate that. So using the chat feature, I want you to make a guess. A recent test of Costco peppermint oil showed that it was not 100% peppermint oil. How much peppermint oil do you believe was in the Costco oil bottle? Type that in the chat. We have 50%. 10%, 25, 16, less, well, 0.1%. Okay, so the answer is going to be shocking. Only 10% was in the bottle. So when you use doTERRA essential oils, you know that 100% of what you're getting in that bottle is pure oil. So it's much cheaper than other options that may be diluted. All right, so let's talk a little bit about affordability, a little bit more about affordability. So each 15 ml bottle of essential oil from doTERRA has 250 drops in it. So one dose, whatever you're using the oil for, is 1 to 2 drops. So on average, it's about $1 or less for a treatment. Here's an essential oil tip. When you're treating any kind of infection, disease, ailment, anything that you have going on, it's always better to use less more often. So throughout the day. So it's not just a one and done. All right. So for instance, using 8 drops of essential oil on a wound or for some situation will not be more effective than using 1 drop of oil every 2 to 3 hours throughout the day. Again, less more often. One of the other reasons that we love doTERRA essential oils is their effectiveness. This is one of my favorite microbiology lessons. And so if there's any scientists out there, just keep in mind that this is pretty simplified, okay? So here we go. Our body's made up of cells. We all know this. And each cell is surrounded by an oily membrane intended to protect it. It keeps the good in and the bad out. There's a nice little visual there in front of you. So when you have a bacterial infection, see that little green blob? You get an antibiotic to help because the bacteria grows on the outside of the cell. However, viruses are different and they proliferate on the inside of the cell. When you go to the doctor, they're going to tell you to go home, drink some liquids, and ride out the storm, right? But essential oils, unlike most modern medicine, can penetrate the cell membrane and help stop the duplication of a virus and support your immune system so that you can heal faster. So when you have an essential oil on hand, you can begin to support the healing of your body immediately instead of paying a copay, driving to the doctor, whatever, all the time that it would take to go take care of that, while you instead can just treat yourself at home. Anyway, sorry for all my blunders, guys. I would like to now turn it over to my friend Ani, who's going to do a little deeper dive into some of our amazing essential oils. So it's all yours, Ani.
Ani, you're muted. Jeez, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. So thank you, Diane. I appreciate you. And you, thanks, Jules, Julie. Okay, so I was introduced to the oils about 2015. And to be honest with you, my husband said, you need to support my friend's wife. You need to buy the oils from her. And I said, oh, okay. I didn't know much about the oils. And once I met with her, I started with the top 10 oils. And little did I know at that time it was going to change my life. And here we are today. We're teaching about the oils. And it's, you know, in the last 8 years, I think I have used Motrin or Tylenol, actually Tylenol, once. So that is a big deal. A lot of you said, you know, you use Tylenol and Motrin. I was one of those people. So let's talk about immune support. There are many oils that support our immune system. Here's just a few. I'm going to show you my keychain. I don't know if you guys have keychains, but this is a keychain that I have with some of the oils that I use often. And then, of course, I also carry the big kind of a, that I have some of the other oils that I carry. So here we see immune support. We see oregano, tea tree, on guard, frankincense, but I won't go into each one. I'm going to pick one of the ones. I have a lot of favorites. They change, but for this purpose, I'm going to pick On Guard. Because of the season we're in, On Guard is something that is so critical. I was using it all day today. So On Guard is something that it's great for immune support, as we all know. It is the protector, natural immune defense. Everyone should have it On Guard. It stops the growth of viruses and the bacteria. We diffuse it. If you diffuse it, it cleans the air and all of the airborne pathogens, soothes sore throats, and can help it knock it out. The key is to use it frequently, right away. So worth to avoid getting sick for a week. So some of the ways I used On Guard, I love diffusing it. I personally love the whole On Guard line, whether I use On Guard for internally, topically, or even with my household. One of my favorites that I use is my flute. In fact, I don't know if anyone saw, I was using it on my throat. I woke up with a little bit of an earache today, and I'm just trying to support my body. I love the On Guard soft gels. That is probably my #1 On Guard product. The minute I feel a tickle in my throat, I pop in an On Guard soft gel, or I use it in my flute, which, you know, we can give you the recipe if you guys don't have it. Let's go to the next slide. and that is the medicine cabinet basics. So this is 5 of the top 10 oils that I started with, and I love all these oils, and I pretty much use them on a regular basis. So imagine a medicine cabinet filled with safe and effective oils without addictive properties or side effects. That will have you ready at a moment's notice to address life's little emergencies. So when you carry this little keychain, you can, take care of a lot of different problems. Again, here are but a few medicine cabinet basics. Again, I will pick probably one. If I were to pick one, it is not in my keychain, but it is in my bigger keychain. I love digestion. It's something that supports me. I love to eat, but I feel bloated real fast. I feel uncomfortable. So I'll go over some of the ways I use it, but let me kind of give you some basics on digestion. Some of you might not need this daily. I do, but it's going to be something you might need once in a while when we call this the oil of repentance. It's definitely something that can go in your purse. You'll never want to be without it. It is great when you're traveling, acid reflux, bloating, gas. Let's see what else. It can be used for settling your stomach. Can even be used for food poisoning. The way I use it, I love putting it in my water, especially when I'm going out to dinner with, because I typically eat somewhat healthy, but when I go out to dinner, I just can't, I can't handle the food. So I would always put it in my water, a few drops. Sometimes just to soothe my stomach, I'll use a roller bottle and I'll put it around my belly button. And just the other day, I was out to lunch with a friend and she was having a lot of allergies and she just didn't feel good. And, she's an oil user. I said, hey, I just learned a trick last year at leadership. In fact, Candace, I think you were the one who told me this. I said, take the digestion. I gave it to her and she put it around her nose, around sinuses kind of. And my God, after like half hour later, she was like, I can't believe this. So just learning we can use these oils in different ways, just learning little tricks about each oil. And then you could see, I think we're not going to spend time. You could see some of the different oils, what they're all about. And if you have questions, you can go for it. Okay. Now, pain and inflammation. This is an area that I've been needing a lot of help recently. I have lower back issues, and I think the only time I took the Tylenol because I was just in severe pain with my lower back, and just recently. Okay, so we learned at the beginning of this workshop that the impact, how inflammation is a cause of disease. doTERRA has safe, effective, and non-addictive tools. The oils and products on the screen here are some of the favorites to address for pain and inflammation. Deep Blue is one of the bigger lines in doTERRA. It is a must-have for muscle and joint health. Not only does it relieve pain and tension, the amazing oils in this support our muscles, joint and bone healing. Deep Blue products can alleviate back pain. In my situation, when you have a nasty bruise forming, grab your Deep Blue to stop it in its tracks. We have the doTERRA Deep Blue Stick, which is also great for arthritis. We have the Deep Blue Rub. I personally love the Deep Blue Rub more for my body. I love the tingling sensation. It really supports my back. And then we also have the oil that I love making a blend and adding some other things. In fact, just this weekend, I was at a health expo and there was a lot of runners. So I made a blend and I called it Runner's Blend. And I added Deep Blue, I added copaiba and geranium and what else did I put? Oh my gosh, lemongrass. Copaiba is another oil used for pain and inflammation. It's a super anti-inflammatory. You can layer it with another oil. It increases the effectiveness. When you really need a boost of pain relief, this is what you're going to use with your deep blue. If you ever suffer from any emotional strain, such as anxiety or depression, this is an oil that can calm and soothe you. I love taking the soft gels to calm my nerves. Sometimes I take it at night with my Serenity as well. It supports all major body systems, heart, nerves, respiratory, immune, and skin, and can really be helpful for ADD or ADHD. It's basically our CBD. It's a CBD replacement. One other little nugget I think I love taking for pain relief, I take the Deep Blue Polyphenol. I take a Copaiba soft gel and turmeric soft gel. That has become my pain medicine more recently. And I do it for the inflammation as well. Mood and emotional support. Little did I know when I first started with the top 10 oils that I was going to fall in love with Serenity. So let's wrap up our oils section with oils to support emotional and mood. For those of you who indicated at the beginning that you or someone in your family deals with heightened emotions or low lows, these are another great options to consider. In my keychain, I'll have always Serenity or Balance. Adaptive is great as well. I call Adaptive like a bubble gum spell. It's so soothing and refreshing. But my favorite is Serenity. I became a believer in the oils when I started putting Serenity on my wrist. I started using it as perfume. And at that time, I think about 8 years ago, it was the calming blend. And now it's called the restful blend. And it is very calming and helpful for sleep. May help you fall asleep more easily and sleep more deeply. So many people swear by it. And it's very helpful for anxiety and stress. I pair Serenity in Balance, and it's just kind of very, I don't always make the nicest blends. I just put a little sticker. This is my perfume. I use it whether it's to calm me, whether just, it smells so pretty. It's so light. And I made this blend this weekend, and the lady that bought it so I spoke to today, and she said, I've been nonstop using it. I love it. What was that? I said, it has Balance and Serenity. So those are my favorite mood and emotional support oils. And you can find different ones that might support you. And I hope that was helpful. I believe I'm going to turn it over to Candace.
Thanks, Ani. That was great information. Thanks for sharing all of those.
Of course.
Tips and things with us. That was great. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. We're over our hour. So I'm going to kind of try to wrap this up pretty quickly. But first, I just want to share with you just briefly about why I ended up doing doTERRA as a business. So I was never going to do the business. Honestly, I was like, I don't want anything to do with the business. I just want, you know, to buy my doTERRA stuff. And I had a friend who was from out of town visiting. And she ended up, she felt like she was coming down with something. So I gave her some things to try. And by the next morning, she was feeling way better. And she was like, how do I get this? Can you help me get this? And I said, no, I don't do the business. I didn't want to do the business. And then after that, she ended up signing up through doTERRA and didn't have any support because she just signed up, you know, and went into what we call an orphan leg. So I support her today, but you know, it just made me think that, oh my gosh, you know, these people need these, and why wouldn't I want to share, and why wouldn't I want to help them and get an account and do this as a business? And maybe there's somebody out there even who would like to do it as a business and you know, have a little few extra dollars coming in. And that's why I really got started, is because I thought, oh my gosh, I could actually make a little bit of money and help with my doTERRA habit, because I have a big one. So that's kind of why I started this as a business. And I can really make a difference and help to change people's lives. And that gives me a ton of joy. When I can help someone have some sort of success with these oils or supplements, it gives me joy. So I get to work when it's convenient for me and my family. And I get to make a whole bunch of new friends. Like the people on this call tonight, I did not know before I started doTERRA, and they have become really awesome friends. So doTERRA really has changed my life. So if this is something that sparks an interest for you, go ahead and talk to that wellness advocate who invited you here, and excuse me, and ask them when we're going to have an upcoming financial wellness workshop. And it's should be the third Monday of the month. We're still kind of working out the dates on some of these classes. So check with your wellness advocate if that's something that you would be interested in attending. Now, this keychain thing is awesome, you guys. You will find that anybody who's done the oils for a little bit has one of these keychains, right? This is mine, and it hangs on my purse. I take it wherever my purse goes. I actually have one in my work coat too, because as you can imagine, when we're out ranching and doing things, it's really good to have some oils in case of emergency. So I have actually several keychains around, and they're very handy. Now you can actually earn one of these keychains if you'd like. And the way to do that, you can either invite your family and friends to our Monday night workshop, or you can have your own separate class with your wellness advocate. If you want something with just your family and friends and you host a class, then you can earn this keychain. The way it works is that you would, ideally you want about 5 people at your workshop, and that's pretty doable. And your keychain, if you host a workshop, would include 5 oils for hosting, and then there'll be an additional oil for each guest you have, up to 5. So let your wellness advocate know if you want one. And trust me when I say it brings joy to all of us to help people discover doTERRA. Okay, so it's survey time. And while we're doing the survey, Bobby's going to get the wheel ready for our giveaway. So while we're waiting for that, I want you guys to either use the QR code, or I think Julie's going to post the link in the chat. And if you would just go and fill out that Google survey form that we have, that would be great. It's really helps your wellness advocate know exactly how to help you. It helps us to help you. That's what that survey is all about. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes to fill that out. And as you get them done, it would be great if you just put a check mark or a done in the chat so that we know. Let's see, let's go ahead and move on to the giveaway while people are doing that form. Yeah, and like Julie said, that completing the form is a big help for that person who invited you. So let's go ahead and move on to the giveaway while people are filling out the form. And are you ready, Bobby? Do you have all the people in there?
Bobby, you're muted.
Okay, I'm here. I have everybody on the wheel. I'm shuffling one more time. So anybody that has a drum roll, go for it. And oh my gosh, this is crazy. Okay, hang on. I haven't done this for a while, you guys. So how do I get it to go? Oh my gosh. Wait. Somebody talk. Somebody tell a testimony. Yeah, right. Because I don't have my wheel in front of me. Hang on. Here,
Okay,
I
in the
got all-
meantime, has anybody completed their survey? I'd love to see some dones there in the chat. That would be great.
and I am spinning.
All right, here we go. Drum
Winner
roll.
is Brandy Hogue. Welcome, Brandy. So yes,
Thanks, Brandy.
will-
She got the survey done, and thank you. Hey, congratulations, Brandy. That's awesome. So you are going to get 2 really amazing ebooks. One's going to be on MetaPower and the other on lifelong vitality. You're going to love them. They are so full of information. And it's really going to just help you learn even more than what we were able to present tonight. So congratulations. Okay, I want to just thank everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our workshop tonight. We really appreciate you taking time out of, I know we're all busy, so thanks for taking time out of your schedules. In this last hour, we have covered a ton of ground, right? So hopefully you've been encouraged to consider how doTERRA could be a powerful support for your health and wellness. Within the next 48 hours, your wellness advocate will reach out to continue the conversation with you. They're going to answer any questions that come to your mind and help you find solutions that match your health needs that you indicated in that survey. In case you missed that, you can always ask your wellness advocate to send it to you again. One last thing I just want to let you guys know, you are not alone on this journey. You're going to have support from your wellness advocate. You're going to have an invitation to our private Facebook group, and everyone is invited to our Tuesday night continuing education class. You can use that QR code on the screen for that, or it's the same Zoom room number as you have here, same time, but on Tuesday nights. So thank you again for coming to our workshop. We really appreciate you. Thanks to all the teachers tonight. We appreciate you too. And everyone have a fabulous evening.